All right, so Backlash is done. So let's run through this. First off, hot crowds make awesome wrestling events. And number two, had double main event. I would have swapped the places of those two main events. I think that had you had ended with the Bad Bunny Damian Priest San Juan street fight, I think that it would have been a better show. But ending with Cody and Brock worked well enough too. So let's get into this. We began with Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Crowd super behind Io Sky, and Io looked fantastic in this. This is the best she's looked since she's made the call up. And I think that hearing Cole say, they've been talking about damage control is kind of hurting Io Sky, and it feels that way. Damage control comes down towards the end, try to help Io out. Nope. Inadvertently leads to her, losing the match, but incredible match, hot opener. It's good seeing Bianca work, not really heel, but you can tell she wasn't playing for the crowd as much. And I was like, that's a good sign. Like the crowd's not super behind you at all. Okay, run with it, play with it. Great match. Bianca retained. No real shock there, but incredible opener. Io looks fantastic. Seth Omos. Crowd super behind Seth, and it was great seeing Omos hit a lot of nice moves. I will say I loved seeing Seth go for the stomp and Omos just holding his spot, like not taking the stomp. First person to not, to pretty much not take a stomp. So but gigantic guy, you're trying to jump on my neck. No, I'm just no. You don't have enough force to drive me down to overcome the strength of my arms. I'm cool with that. Works. Seth has hit 2 stomps, doesn't work. Has to do an avalanche stomp. Looked incredible. Omos lost, but he looked like a killer, which is good. A big guy can lose a match like this, but if he looks like at any moment, if he was fully dominant the whole match, and he looked great in this, and he had to take, a super version of the finisher, I'm fine with it. Theory, Lashley, Bronson Reed. I like the car crash aspect of this, where it's 3 guys, lots of big moves, lots of your move. I'm gonna try sneaking and get the pin. Seeing the hurt lock reverse into a pin get kicked out of, and then seeing the tsunami, and then seeing just all like the try to steal the pins here and there. Big spear on Bronson Reed, and then Theory throws Lashley out of the ring, gets the pinfall. Good match, worked, crowd was entertained with it. It was the match where the crowd wasn't as super hot, but I mean, they were ridiculously hot for like every other match. Rhea Ripley, Vega. Vega came down to the Puerto Rican flag. She's crying in the ring. It was incredibly emotional. Had her family out there. So again, stupid hot crowd. They're all behind Selena Vega. Vega did a good job in this. I think that they did the overconfidence of Ripley in this. I will say, I think having lots of these matches, and almost all of them seem to have like the second rope tornado DDT spot. If you rewatch the match of the event, I think just about every match seemed to have one of those. I'm taking on a bigger opponent, but I'm smaller and faster. I know. Second rope tornado DDT. And of course, no real threat to Ripley losing the title here. But, she put down Vega. Match still worked well. Crowd was super hot for it. And, this was just, from that aspect, yes, I think that the E needs to do more of these shows in different locations. There was people just staring at the phone the whole time. People had signs. People were excited. You had lots of hometown heroes. Solid. Really well done. Now we get to our first main event match. The San Juan street fight. Which, of course, was Damian Priest, Puerto Rico's own, versus Bad Bunny, Puerto Rico's own. Super impressive to see Bad Bunny pull off a Falcon Arrow. Yes, he held Priest up and hit a Falcon Arrow. Not the most impressive move that he did. He did a couple other ones that were really good, but that one was just, the amount of strength and coordination it takes is insane. We did see a broken arrow on the outside through some tables. Lots of good use of plunder, and I was texting a buddy of mine throughout this, and there's some great things about Bad Bunny. One, you can tell he's an old school wrestling fan. It's, build to the big move, hit the big move, have the crowd explode with whatever emotion you're going for, let them recover, go into the next sequence. So it's that old school mentality of it's not about the moves, it's about the emotions. And Bad Bunny knows, when he's selling like he's getting the crap beat out of him. When he's bumping, he's not bumping like a true professional. He's not doing flatbacks, but you can tell that he's landing where he's safe. And then having the Judgment Day come down, which then led to Ray coming down, which then led to our first big pop of Carlito coming down, and Carlito looks fantastic. Bringing back a couple of spots every now and then. And then, of course, as Judgment Day's running away, then Savio Vega comes down. Then the LWO comes down. And I was like, then Bad Bunny hits a sliced bread number 2, and it's not the finish. And the finish instead ends up being, after some more bits with chairs, after they did kendo sticks and trash cans and chains, and, he hits the Puerto Rican destroyer. And then when he goes for the pin, he doesn't hook a leg. He just slumps on top. It's like he's like, I'm beat. I'm done. This is it. This is all I've got. This is my last gasp. Fall on top of him. Arms to his sides, just head down. And I'm like that. That is I have gotten the crap beat out of me. I got nothing left. Sort of pin. Got the 3 count. Everyone goes in the ring, and I was like, this is how you end a show. You end a show with are we gonna send everybody home with a maximum level of happiness? And then I was like, man, this is a great show. Oh, crap, we got 2 more matches. Bloodline versus Sane KO, bro. I don't know if it was the fact that it was to come down from the previous match, or the fact that I felt the Bloodline was going to win, and I kind of knew, I picture Solo getting the pinfall, and I don't picture him beating one of the tag champs. Because you got to keep them protected, because, they're the ones who have actually been successful in doing damage to the Bloodline. Seeing Solo almost turn on his older brothers, okay. I'm kind of fine with that. Seeing them have that internal strife, okay. But they got the victory with a Samoan spike on a Matt Riddle. I'm like, okay. It did a good job progressing one of the major storylines. This is probably the only match that really probably had a good impact on lots of things going forward. But fine match. You can tell the crowd was still into it, really into Kevin Owens. Just, you can tell that after they had the match they just had, there was just no eggs up for the crowd to go into this. And then we finished with Lesnar, Rhodes. Cody, hot out the gate, doing everything he can, just blitzing Lesnar. Did a great job. And then all of a sudden Lesnar catches him out of midair from a disaster kick, and it's like German suplex. Or suplex Ciudad. I think it'd be Ciudad de Suplex. I don't know, someone who speaks Spanish, fill in the gaps. And then, they rip a turnbuckle pad off. I'm like, okay, Lesnar's going to go into that. Lesnar gets hard weighed. And I'm like, ooh, will they stop the match? The crowd's like, and I was like, this match is fine, but the moment that you see Cody hit a move and then wipe Lesnar's blood on his body, and I was like, okay, this is what shows you that, it's not a gusher. Not a ton of blood. It was a hard way. And instead of stopping the match to fix him up, they occasionally just brought a towel in to be like, I'm going to wipe your eyes clean. And then it's like, Crossroads. Cody, blood all over me. It's Lesnar's blood. I was like, this is what shows you don't need buckets. You throw some blood in a match like this, and I was like, this match was fine. Okay build. Weird spot to be like, this is your closing match. And I'm like, okay, well, now they've got some blood. Okay, now it feels like it's a bigger match. It feels different. It feels like we'll see this match covered again in black and white. And then Brock has got the Kimura lock on Cody. And it's like, if Cody taps, it kind of ruins everything. And then Cody kind of positions himself, pops his hips, just rolls Lesnar up. And Lesnar's, he's got Cody's weight and Lesnar's weight on Lesnar's shoulders, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, oh, look, he won. It's a smart way to win. I'm like, is that how you close your pay-per-view? With, Cody winning in the main event? By outsmarting Lesnar? I don't know. Glad that Cody won. Cody really needed the win. But it's like, I think had you switched those two spots, had you had, still had Lesnar get a hard way, if possible, if you can plan those out, and then if Cody getting the win, and then if Bad Bunny go over at the finish, that's the only down spot of this, is it felt like those two matches should have been switched. And then, next night Lesnar comes out on a Raw, Lesnar destroys everything. He's like, I wasn't the main event again because of some musical act, because of some not even part-timer. And then Lesnar gets the, now I'm going to be suspended. And then Lesnar, comes back, I don't know, near SummerSlam to help sell tickets. But same to them, they want Lesnar to probably go to Saudi Arabia. And Lesnar probably wants, the 7 figures he'll get for getting on the flight. But, hot crowd, good show. I think you just switch the position of those two matches, and this ends up being a fantastic premium live event.